Hey y'all, I wanted to talk a little bit about a Monstera. I don't know if you've ever heard of a Monstera. This is a Monstera Delicioso. I used to look at them and get scared, about like I used to look at an orchid and get scared, but they're really not that difficult. This one is in a plastic pot. It's a 5 gallon pot, I think. And if you look at the top, they call it the Swiss cheese plant because of the splits in the leaves, but as you can see, as you go down the tree or bush or plant, there is no splits in the leaves. So the least or the lesser mature leaves will not have the slits, whereas the mature leaves will. This one is really tall. This is actually on my patio table, but it's actually really beautiful. It stays out here, it stays in my house in the wintertime. I don't get a lot of light, but it really likes indirect sunlight, not direct sunlight. Direct sunlight will actually burn the leaves. But if it doesn't like to be wet, Pookie says she can't help herself. She said, "Ooh, Mama's got a new something else for me to look at here. I'm gonna smell it a little bit." It doesn't like to have wet feet, so what I do is I put a dish up under mine, and whenever I water it and it drains all out, then I empty the water dish in the bottom because it likes to dry out before I water it. Don't dehydrate it, but I water mine when I got it on the porch outside about once a week. Inside, sometimes a week and a half to 2 weeks before I water it. It likes airy soil. Let me get you close here. This is actually, watch out, Pookie. Watch out, Pookie. This is actually root, y'all. It's very easy to root, and a lot of them, they love to climb. They're actually from the tropics, and they love to climb. So I actually have one inside that actually climbs. It's from actually the rainforest, which is kind of weird. But they say that because the wind gets real whippy, they always say that that's why they have the little slits in the leaves, so the wind doesn't beat up the leaves so bad it'll go through the leaves instead of beating them up. So with this, y'all know I done told you I use Miracle Grow soil for everything, and with that, I actually used it with this as well. I do fertilize mine in the summertime about once a month. I actually have little granules in mine. I don't know if you can see them down in there. Little tiny little granules so that when I water it, it kind of disperses out on it. So I do that about once a month, and then after I don't see my beads again, I know they all done dissolved. I'll put a little bit more in there. I don't get a lot of south sun in the summer or the winter because I have an overhang on the front of my house. So I actually use grow lights in the wintertime, and then in the summertime I put them out here on my Monstera. I put her out here on my porch, and she loves the filtered sun that comes through the trees. So they like a lot of sun, but they don't want the direct heat of the sun on them. So if you do that, it'll burn the leaves. If you overwater, it'll cause root rot. So you just want to water that likes high humidity and high light, filtered light. So they're not difficult, so I don't want it to sound like it is. All you need to do is have light, airy soil. Make sure it's good soil that'll drain and doesn't compact real easily. So make sure it's got a lot of perlite in it. It's got those big old roots, and those big old roots love to get through that soil, and you want to make sure that you allow them the ability to do that. A lot of people like to grow these on sticks or I want to say posts, but not posts, like 2x4s or something like a stick that it can crawl up on because those roots will actually attach to the stick or to the piece of board, which is really, really wild to think about, but that's true. And with that, it's a crawler, just like it'll crawl up in the rainforest on a tree. So, in thinking about that, think about the airish roots. It's very easy to reroot it in water. It's very easy. I could actually pop off anywhere here where I see a root, that's a root, and stick it in water or stick it in dirt. I actually have some underneath my garage that I've rooted in water, and it didn't even take a week, and the roots were growing off of it, so I just stuck it in dirt, and they grow. Or you could actually take this and open this here up, take it out, and you could make this into several plants instead of just one. I like mine bushy. Grows real fast. It is an easy plant for the inside. You just need to have some light. It's not one of those low light plants. I feel like my Pythos is probably the easiest plant in the world to grow. I have variegated ones and regular ones. This one's a really highly variegated. Those, I can grow those in my office at work with absolutely no true sun, just artificial light from the lights in my office, and it will grow. This is not like that. This is going to need some sun, but it's not difficult. These are very popular plants for your house, to be in your house. Just make sure you got a south-facing window so you're going to have some light. I used to be scared of these because when I looked at it, it looks elegant, just like an orchid looks elegant, and I thought, oh my God, I would kill that. Everybody says I have a green thumb, but this is something that scared me. Yes, it did, just like an orchid does. Doesn't now, but it did. So just get you one. Try it. You can get them at Lowe's. Sometime when you purchase them, it'll say Monstera Deliciosa. Let me see if I can look at this word and sound it out. Delicioso. Delicioso. Just think about it. It's a delicious looking plant, Swiss cheese. Just think about Swiss cheese and it'll be delicioso. It may not have the splits if it's not a mature plant, or it's a plant that doesn't have any leaves on it that are more mature. So these right here, where you see the Swiss cheese, those are the more older leaves coming up, whereas all these other lower ones here are the newer leaves and they don't have the splits. This one has splits. That one's getting some splits. And this is a brand new one, y'all, which is weird because look, it's coming out with splits. That's a brand new shoot to come up this week. And just in 1 week, it did that. So, anyway. Alright, y'all. I hope this helps. Remember, bright, filtered light, at least 6 hours a day. South-facing window would be the best. Filtered so that it doesn't burn the leaves. Water it. It likes high humidity and lots of sun. It don't like to be below 65 degrees. But if you're up in the 90s, it's like, hello, I love it. It likes the heat. But also you got to think about, for the heat that you have and humidity that you have, how much water should you get? Don't let it have good drainage on the bottom. Don't let it sit in water. It'll rot the roots. You want aerated soil that's got a lot of perlite in it, so it's light, airy soil. Just think light and airy in the tropics. That's what you want to think about. Okay? Alright, y'all. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I do appreciate you guys. Please like and subscribe. And tell our baby girl goodbye. Y'all go out and get you one of these Monsteras. They the in thing.